We can afford no problem. How about those skydivers?
Next year, people, should not Singaporeans and not by NTUC, whose government affiliated. What do you think so, Singapore? Yes, thank you. Well, make some noise, Singapore. Oh, yeah, like I said, BBC will be here at 4:30, so we need you to make some noise. Oh, thank you. Reuters will be here too. Right, AFPs will be here. Thank you very much. Is there a local press here? Anyone from the local press? Oh, there's no one from the local press is here. They are not interested in what we are doing here. That's quite sad, huh? Right, the employees over on the left side, right, if you're jobless, there are jobs on the left. There are 5 employees here. So if you're jobless, go to their booth on the extreme left side. In the middle, there's free food. Well, you can get a packet of free food. I think Long is quite nice right now. Haven't eaten lunch, everything is nice. And there's free water, mineral water on the right hand side. Right, do grab a t-shirt. Right, we have order for you. Right, so help us. Right, we need you to purchase some more t-shirts. We have actually ordered quite positively 800 t-shirts. So if you haven't buy a t-shirt, right, support us by buying 1 or 2 t-shirts. One shirt costs $10, but this one is $10, and the one with the collar is also $10. And the cap, there's a cap, blue and dark color. I want to ask the first speaker, right, to prepare herself. Right, it's Fatima Akbar. She's an architect and she's worked. Let's give her a hand, Fatima Akbar. Let's give her a hand again.
Countries altogether, 15 or 16 countries. So we've gone through the various booms and busts, the various types of global cities. And I'm here to tell you what we have experienced abroad. I'm unable to comment about China because it's been a long time since I've been there. In the United Arab Emirates, the intake of foreigners, that's the only area in the world in the Middle East where the intake of foreigners is more severe than ours. In the UAE, the local population who are citizens, called Emiratis, forms about 15% of the population. The majority, close to 40%, are Indians, 25% from regional Arab countries, those who do not have oil in their countries. 15% are Asians, primarily Pinoys, 6% other expats, which are a collective group of Western expatriates. I went out there in 2004 when the doors are being opened in Singapore. There was a whole slew of mega projects in Dubai, and I went out there to build them as an architect. I remember Goh Chok Tong going there sometime in 2005, I think, and soon after that, Singapore announced mega projects of our own, rivaling Dubai, like the 2 integrated resorts, among others. Looking back, it is a fair assumption that Singapore was trying to duplicate the Dubai model. But then again, is it truly executed in the same manner? No. Yeah. The crux of the model is about moving into the service sector and growing the economy through domestic consumption, and that's solely through population growth. Out there, no foreigner is entitled to citizenship. Yeah. There are officially no taxes, but a lot of hidden taxes in the things that you pay, the credit card that you use, and eventually all that goes back to the Emirati. Absolutely no benefits for the foreigner. All are allowed to work, but they have to take care of themselves. And once they finish their contract, they go home within a month. Yes, there's a ban for 6 months. We seem to believe that if we don't make it attractive for the foreigner, they will not stay and they will not take citizenship. UAE is a good example that proves this theory false.
But UAE, they pay back the citizenship.
Yeah.
For the taxes.
Yeah. There are many who have been out there for 3 generations. In essence, if the opportunities out there is better from the country of origin, people will stay. That's all. Whether I can make money there, whether I can work, that's all there is to it. Yeah? Even though the foreigners outnumber citizens 5-1, nobody would dare to disrespect the Emirati. And if they are patrolling shopping malls to tell people not to look naked or anything like that, they make sure they wear their traditional clothes because it carries a lot of authority.
That's right.
Yeah. As foreigners, we know that if we disrespect them in any way, the consequences are very serious. So we keep quiet and we make sure that we don't get into trouble. What strikes me the most is that all the foreigners there know that it's a privilege to be able to work there, not an entitlement.
That's right.
The relationship between the Emirati citizen and the foreigner is that of host and guest. And as a guest, you are thankful to your host, you are nice to him, you don't disrespect him, as simple as that, and everybody can live happily ever after. I was baffled when I came home in 2011. As citizens, we are constantly disrespected, whether in the workplace, on the streets, or on social media, and being discriminated against. However, I insist that is never the foreigner's fault. Social media have some instances have gone viral, but the collective message is, you know, your government wants us to be in your country. What can you do about it? Yeah. It is a system failure, Singaporean. The problem with us is we are not nice, but we are too nice. Telling all sundry that it is because of them we have a job, that we do not have the talent ourselves to get things done ourselves.
They should go back to their own country.
Singaporeans, what the foreigner can or cannot do is dependent on the law that governs this land. If they behave badly, it is our fault for not putting the checks and balances. As citizens, we have to push back and question whether the measures have been properly installed.
That's right.
Middle East experience really opened my eyes. Gulf Arabs has been dealing with foreigners outnumbering them since 1970s. They have gotten used to rampant fake certificates, all sorts of illegals. I don't know what the official stand is, but they've never really drawn up legislation to stamp them out or bring them to justice. However, the market has developed to a point where it's unlikely that a worker from third world countries will be allowed to hold key positions. Your typical job advert would read, candidate should be a graduate from a reputable university. So what is a reputable university? It is very nationality bound. You have to be from Western countries, Singapore, Japan, Taiwan, maybe Malaysia, and that's about it, no one else. Everyone else are allowed to come in but to do the massive grunt work, and that's it, no key positions.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, not with HR. The salary of a true blue Singaporean working out there is easily 2 or 3 times that of an Indian or a Pinoy, as the Emirati believes that we can get the job done and not them. Done but not them. Back in Singapore, because of racial and nationality enclaves, foreigners are able to pay themselves well and boast how much they're better paid than we are.
He not boast that they are better than us. What?
By the way, out there we are paid as much as Ang Mo, so no reason for Ang Mos to think that they're better than us anyway.
That's right.
We come from one of the best education systems in the world, graduate from one of the top global universities in the world. It is total nonsense to think that we have no talent amongst us. Is it really true that we do not have the talent to get things done? Singaporeans, I am speaking up because my biggest fear is the unjustified subliminal messages that have permeated into our society. The unfounded belief that the foreigner is better than us and we need them. In Singapore, the nationalities not looked upon favorably in the Middle East have been parachuted into key positions. It may have been a sexy idea at one point in time, considering that emerging markets are growing very fast. But look at what's happening now. All these emerging economies, except for one, are in a slowdown. They cannot deliver the hype. Dubai has managed to still be a hub for Arabia, Africa and India without putting any of them on a pedestal. This is rather entertaining. An Indian who wants to travel with flying Emirates Airline because it's glamorous, you know. Everybody, do you see Dubai losing its social hub status or economic hub status? No. I'm saying this to you because when you raise your children, you make sure that you eradicate all the silly ideas that foreign is better. This is a dangerous idea. It's a myth, as mythical as a Malayan. Even if the corporate numbers are good, when we have them at the helm of our companies, do we really need to be truly impressed? If the figures are good, we can surely accredit that to the ground-up work that we've done for the past 50 years. They are riding on the back of Singapore and the behemoth companies that have been built by true blue Singaporeans in the first place. Can they be truly credited for getting us somewhere, or are they getting an easy ride?
Easy ride, they are doing it.
Yeah. One of the objectives of the Fair Consideration Framework aims to derive data to assess areas where we are lacking in skills. That in itself is proof that they have no real data to prove to us that we are untalented, you know. Isn't that a joke? All this is just feedback and hearsay from so-called business leaders, and it could just be an excuse by the business and the foreigners running these businesses to hire their own kind.
Something wrong with Singapore education.
No lah, something wrong with the system lah.
If it's the soul, if you know it's something wrong with our university, again, it's allowed.
Maybe ah. Singapore.
Yeah, see, you know your MOE the problem that you cannot produce your talent.
Actually, we have the talent, but the talent are all being snapped up by other countries because they want us abroad and they're giving us a lot of money. Actually. That's why we're overseas. Yes, we are treated very well and respected abroad. Yeah. Singaporeans, the bigger danger than our paltry birth rate is nepotism and corruption that has seeped into everyday life. We are finished the day we operate on Guangxi. Nepotism has been entrenched in clusters for close to a decade. It is a cancer in our society.
Yes.
Singaporeans, when you have cancer, what do? You go to the doctor, right? And the doctor will make sure they eradicate the cancer cells. Do you engage and indulge in moral suasion with your cancer cells? I see no logic in that. If the people that we're dealing with have morality and a sense of what is right in the first place, we will not have these problems to begin with.
That's right.
Yeah. To add insult to injury, the worst perpetrators are companies that has a sovereign wealth funds as one of the largest shareholders. I miss the days of shrewd leadership under LKY where it's unapologetic. Those are the days if you have long hair, you want to come into our country, we give you a free haircut. And if your hobby is to vandalize, we cane you because that is the law. Why are we tiptoeing around foreigners when they misbehave? This is our country.
That's right. This is our country.
Are we going to lose all the business if we make sure that everyone behaves? Most multinationals need to be here to tap into the region's growth. Singapore offers a lot and it's still difficult to get things done elsewhere. Startup companies from emerging economies use Singapore to bump up their branding. They will proudly boast on their website that is an operation based out of Singapore while downplaying their country of origin. Do we need to feel obligated to host every single one of them? We should be selective and really assess what their true contribution are to our country.
That's right.
The success of Silicon Valley, where 40% of startups by immigrants or children of immigrants rely on inbuilt infiltration systems. They have laws against discrimination, the constant threat of class action suits. Ultimately, Americans themselves and their persona filters out the bad and the ugly. They are brought up to be assertive. Anyone trying to be funny in there will be put back into their boxes. Americans do not operate with their hands tied behind their back. Singaporeans, unite! We should defend everything wonderful that is our country. We should not feel despair and feel that the only option that we have is to run away and emigrate. Stay and stand your grounds. We need you for 2016. Even while we have failed to put effective measures to rule out antisocial behavior within our country, there are options worldwide. SEC has started to investigate discriminatory hiring in China, where it is alleged that children of well-connected parents have unfair advantage. We should look beyond Singapore and use the framework elsewhere to put things right in Singapore in the meantime. It is not a fight against foreigners, my friends. It is a fight against nepotism and corruption. It is sad that dysfunctional branches of US MNCs are in Singapore. It is even more ironic that the favoritism is not biased towards Americans. It is US companies being colonized by other nationalities. The list of companies that have their visa privileges curtailed recently do not include the obvious and the worst perpetrators. Does anybody know what's the follow-up action to Standard Chartered and Citibank? Suddenly, wow, all nicey. And what was our DPM doing, sayang them and begging us to consider us fairly? Yeah. Can we really afford to have workplaces dominated by single nationality? People flippantly think that once we have rules and regulation, we will be safe. I, for one, have left an MNC because I was faced by 2 foreign engineers who failed and did not know that they have to take into consideration wind load in the calculation for curtain wall. Yeah. Considering the collapse of New World Hotel is because the structural engineer forgot to add in the live load on top of the dead load. It is not only about our jobs taken away, Singaporeans. Public safety is at risk.
That's right.
So I called TAFEP directing me to MOM, saying that they are very interested in these people. And in MOM, I got lost in the bureaucracy. So the system is really truly broken. How have we progressed as a society? When I left for the Middle East in 2004, the doors here were just opening. My culture shock out there was that how difficult it was to get things done. At that point in time, Singapore registers high productivity on Global Competitiveness Index. Now we are just as Dubai in terms of scoring, and our worker profile, to no surprise, is almost similar. Are we not shooting ourselves in the foot?
Yes.
Switzerland also survives on a lot of migrant workers. What they perceive to be a lot is nothing compared to our numbers. Currently, it is a mere 20%. They are lucky because they're surrounded by very well-developed economies. Their foreign PMETs are high-productive, well-trained Germans. Even so, their foreign workers are not put on a pedestal. They're just perceived as regular people taking regular jobs, and nobody coined fantastic, godly, almost and ethereal terms to refer to them. So even though as a society they have expressed difficulty in accepting migrant workers from developing European companies, their presence, but from the Swiss point of view, has depressed wages and taken jobs away. They have identified these countries and have plans for a second round of restricting their inflow. Their government took a stand and acknowledged that the rate of immigration needs to be at a pace where the Swiss is comfortable with. As a government, they're taking and standing their ground and exchanging strong words with Brussels right now. Singaporeans, the issues that we face is not local, it is a global issue. And when we raise it, we are just expressing issues, we are not xenophobic. I appeal to all of you, as citizens, our common objective is to make sure that racial enclaves are broken up by 2015. That is when our country is 50 years old. 2013 saw America assessing how far their society has progressed since Martin Luther King. In 2015, we must make sure that our society has not gone backwards and everything good that we have built have become undone. You have to push back. Thank you.
Let's give Ms. Fatima a big hand of applause as our first speaker. Well, she used words that I don't dare to use now. Corruption, nepotism. We hope we don't get into trouble. Right. I also want to acknowledge those who have come on your third protest. These are third protests. Who are you out there? Third protest. Let's give these people a hand of applause. Third protesters, die-hard fans. This guy is a die-hard fan. I see him here every day, every protest. Thank you. Who are you who are here for the first time? Let's give them a hand. First timers. About who are you here for the second time? Two-time protesters. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. I think it's still not easy to ask Singaporeans to come out to protest. Yesterday we were delivering flyers at Hougang. Two NS guys who just ROD tell me, Gilbert, will we get arrested or not? Just ROD, So I say, wow, chum, damn jialat, NS guy, 22 years old, want to come, but they're scared they're being arrested. So it's difficult out there, right, to get you guys out here, but you have done us proud. Actually, you represent 3 million Singaporeans. Do you know our first two protests have attracted a lot of attention? I think the government has relented a bit. They've introduced a 14 days free look, right? 14 days, give employers some time to hire locals. I think Roy will talk a lot about that, and Leong Ziyan. 14 days local free look before they can hire foreigners. I think it's all bullshit, right? It's all damn bullshit. Yeah, ask them to give us 3 months, employers 3 months to look for local workers. Wayang, yeah, Wayang Party. We also want to acknowledge international press. BBC, where are you? BBC. I think they're somewhere around. Right. BBC press is here. Over there. AFP. It's AFP here. Associated Free Press. But no Straits Times are not here. Local press won't come here. Anyway, I've not read Straits Times for the last 2 years, don't worry. I don't know what the hell is happening. Right. Yeah, I'm proud of you, right? Difficult, the weather is difficult. Right, I'm very proud of you. Right. The heat is there and you still come. Right. Somehow maybe the momentum of the 6.9 million population white paper has gone down. Right, we could not attract back 5,000 people. But I think we are good. We are good. Every year, like I say, Labor Day will be here. Please come back. right, Labor Day confirmed. Even if one person is here, we do the protest for the person on Labor Day. We'll do it here. Right, thank you. It's not easy to be an activist in Singapore, I think you know. Right, we cannot attack. The people say I sleep around. People say I cheat money by selling t-shirts. Right. So there's a lot of rumors about me. So if you want to know me well, please don't get too close with me. Right. I think the NParks have been giving us problem. NParks, now they need us to give a sketch of a stage and tentage. So I've decided not to give them the sketch because they only give me 2 days to prepare the sketch. So I'm not going to give them the sketch. Yeah, I was told by a volunteer that the employers are very free, you know. All of you are working. There are employers that are offering jobs, but there's no jobless people over there. So if you are jobless, please go to the employer book. There are 5 employers there offering jobs just for Singaporeans. Let's give them a clap. Employers over there, we are proud of you. Next speaker, interesting character, Alex Tan, representing the real Singapore. The website that the government tried to arrest, but the who is in charge of the website. After what? After his speech, oh, jialat. You know who the guy? Alex Tan, let's give him a hand, Alex Tan.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Alex. Yeah. Okay, as you can see, right, every time I come to the Gilbert's Ghost protest, Okay, thank you. I will be wearing this mask. Why? A lot of people have been asking me, why am I wearing this mask? Who are you hiding from, Alex? Everybody know you. The thing is with Singapore, we have this climate of fear. So, as for today's speech, I'll be delivering my speech wearing this mask. I hope you all can hear me after this.
Is that from BBC?
No. Okay, I'll start my speech. Can you hear me or not? Can
Don't put on mask.
Today, at 5.4 million, everywhere is overcrowded. Foreigners are everywhere and all over the place. We have Manila in Orchard Road, India in Serangoon Road, and China everywhere. We are the unofficial province of China. The influx of cheap foreign labor resulted in job competition and your wages get depressed. The richer foreigners buy up cars and properties, resulting in record-breaking COE and housing prices. And the increased domestic demand resulted in the cost of living becoming more and more unaffordable for Singaporeans. Young Singaporeans like me, I hope I'm still young, they're coming 30 already, could no longer afford a car or a flat. No matter how hard we work or how highly educated we are, meritocracy has turned out to be a lie in Singapore. All the government wants from us Singaporeans is to serve national service, to protect the foreigners, pay CPF, make babies, and work until you die. Throughout the 10-year period when our population increased by 1 million, tell me, Singaporeans, have your lives gotten better or worse? How would our standard of living become better by bringing more foreigners in? Albert Einstein, I'm sure you all know who he is, has this to say about doing the same thing and expecting different results. It's called insanity. Siao! When you have a crazy government who has gone koyak, do you know what to do in 2006? What for change? Exactly. Okay. One funny argument our beloved PAP government like to use is that our country is a migrant society. They say that our forefathers come from China and India. And we should welcome foreigners with open arms. Open legs also. Okay, but when my grandfather came from China, he doesn't have to serve national service. When my grandmother came from China, she doesn't speak English. And there's no such country by the name of Singapore. The government wants us Singaporeans to integrate with the foreigners. I think this is very wrong. It should be the other way around. Correct? It should be the other way around. Foreigners should not be asking Singaporeans. Okay, foreigners should not be asking Singaporeans. Can you 讲华语吗? Can you not cook curry at home? Unlike other first world countries, Singapore does not have a first world immigration policy. When you have a third world immigration policy, you get all the third world people coming in. How many of them can even pass the O-level English? The number of foreign students taking English foundation course in NUS and NTU is a disgrace and shameful. How can they become talents when they cannot even communicate in conversational English? Yeah. Okay. Singapore, okay lah. Okay, let me continue. How can they be called talents when they are drawing a salary so low and so unattractive that an average Singaporean don't want to do? The average work permit holder, we are talking about the toilet cleaners, the construction workers, they are drawing about an average of $800 a month. How many Singaporeans can survive on $800 a month? I think most of us can barely use $800 within a week. And by the way, how much do we have after deducting CPF? At the same time, we have also been told that foreigners came to do the work that Singaporeans don't want to do. Are Singaporeans really so picky? Or is this another nonsense propaganda? Do you know that the average construction workers in Australia earn more than 4,800 Australian dollars a month? And we are talking about that is 5 times more than what our construction workers in Singapore are getting. However, funny, our Singapore property prices are 7 times more expensive than the properties in Australia. If you can pay Singaporeans $4,800 a month to be a construction worker or toilet cleaner, would there be a manpower crunch? Unfortunately, our government does not want to listen. They think they can pretend to listen, wayang a bit, and talk their way out of this population problem. It was recently announced that our population has increased 1.6% this year. Okay, those of you want to do a simple calculation of 16% compound interest for the next 17 years until 2030, you will get 6.9 million by 2030. The fact remains that they are not listening at all. The only way to stop a 6.9 million disaster is to know what to do in 2016. The language to communicate with the PAP government is not English. It is through the ballot box. I hope everyone know what to do in 2016. Thank you for your time. Hey, Gilbert, where are you?
Okay, Alex Tan. Another hand for Alex Tan. After he spoke, the government know who to go after. The real Singapore. By the way, I think they have the highest leadership in Singapore for social political bloc because they got no censorship. Right, thank you very much for staying on. I think those at the back really, can we ask you to move forward? Right, those at the back. Right, there's a lot of space here. Please move forward so that it looks good, you know. We need the encouragement from you also in the front. Right, let's give them a hand, those at the back. Ask them to come. Come. Thank you. Right, please come. Right, thank you. I think we have close to 700. Right, we thank you. Right, 800 people. Yeah, it's very warm, I know. Right, 超大. But I think there's still some space here and some space in the front, right, which is beautiful. Oh, yeah, I see some nice posters around. Right, I'm going to help you. Right, maybe this lady here. Right, I'm not so good in Chinese. Let's give her a hand and ask her to show us what she has. Please, right, please come. Right, please come to the front, ma'am. Yeah, you have a very nice calligraphic posters. Right, let's ask her to come in front. Is it okay? Right, let's encourage her. Give her a hand. Right, no, you have to come. I don't know what this is. Right, ask her to come on the stage. Is it okay? Singapore, come, don't be shy. Come. Right.
来届大选势必屠龙。
This one no, I say one no. I never say this, anything about here. Welcome, man, young lady. Give her a hand. I'm very salute all these young people. They're really gung-ho. And they're not afraid. Oh, fantastic. After today, a young lady, you'll be as famous as Darren. Right. We also want to acknowledge some secondary school students. Right, they were with us the last 3 days, delivering flyers and leaflets. Actually, one of them are supposed to speak, but due to some pressure from the school and the parents, he's not speaking anymore. Do you want to know who is he? He's here. Right, do we want to acknowledge a young Singaporean who is very brave? Right, let's welcome Shapin. Come, Shapin. Let's give him a hand. Shapin. Do something.
Thanks for your support. I feel that more youth should be involved in this because it's our future and the future is in our hands. This time I won't be speaking, but I promise you guys I will be back. I hope to see a change in 2016.
Shapin, Step 4, Secondary School. Give him a hand. Also got one guy, very young, Poly, but come 3 times to deliver flyers for us. Samuel Lim! Let's give him a hand. Samuel, say something, Samuel.
I didn't prepare anything, but I must say I'm so happy to see so many patriotic Singaporeans here today. The fact that you are here today means that you care about our country's future. And so I just want to say, made the right decision in 2016, that's all I know. I won't be old enough to vote, by counting on all of you to do the job for me. For the next generation of Singaporeans.
Samuel, give him a hand from Polytechnic. When I see them, I see hope. By 2030, we will face the problem in 2030. Maybe I'll be dead, but what we do today is for them. Right, let's support them. By 2030, they'll be working, they'll be married, HDB house will hit $1 million. But because you are here, things might change. The government might relent. Something might improve. Because of you people who took the time and the efforts to brave the heat to be here. Right, I don't want to take up too much time. I have to introduce our third speaker, Robert Tay. Robert is 66, but he looked like 56. He displayed flyers like 46. You know, at about 11 and Hougang yesterday, he's still giving out flyers. We will actually take a break. I said, no, Gilbert, let me finish my stack. This is the spirit we have of Robert Tay. Give him a hand, Robert.
Okay. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to see that you are not afraid of the sun and you're prepared to stay the long haul of change with all of us. Even if there's only one person left, I suppose it's worth standing up for Singapore. Today I see a fresh air. The fresh air in the person of Fatima Akhtar. And I also see a masked man. He is also our fresh air. Can you imagine that we have Singaporeans like that who will stand up and speak here on justice, on fair play, on change? So we have a young man. Last night, during the flyer distribution, he's only 9 years old. I asked him a question. I say, what do you see of Singapore future? He says he doesn't want to see any poor people. He wants to see a lot of rich people. He doesn't want people to spit on the floor. So I'm so encouraged that the younger people is willing to join us in distributing flyer, and mind you, he distributed a lot of flyer. This one, Gabriel, is running away. So ladies and gentlemen, you have heard that they are full of lies in front of us, and there will be more lies being told to us that foreigners are talent, but we are not. So all these lies are being nailed down like a barber being poked with a needle today. And I hope that the authority, whoever they are, they may be listening on the side recording somewhere. They will come to know that what they claim to be the foreign talent are lies. Ladies and gentlemen, I think today my topic will be more concerned with we want change to a just and equal, vibrant society. It is very important for us when we have this kind of situation facing us, everybody confronting us for our life, for living, for earning a living, that we actually know what we want to do. So I'm suggesting that even if we are the one man left, we should stand up and ask for change. All right? So at the last Hong Lim speech, when I was speaker on the 1st of May, I actually, on behalf of every one of you, right, register a strong yellow card protest. You know, in soccer game, you have this yellow card. That means to say, we are going to send you out very soon, unless you obey the rule. We have a lot of too many rules broken. So this society has tolerated a lot of broken rules for too long. So now today we are talking about a change program. But just to recap, what is a yellow card we serve on the 1st of May? On the 1st of May, we actually serve on a yellow card to tell the government to say no to 6.9 million population white paper. It's a Trojan horse. It's actually a very bad policy. Yeah, but nobody say anything, just vote for them. So this coming election 2016, we want them to listen. Do something before you run down the whole country. It's a Trojan horse. Number 2, free and easy work permit to Tom, Dick and Harry foreign worker. This is absolutely nonsense. Many of the jobs that these 100,000 foreign workers who got permit this year, many of these jobs our Singaporean can do. Number 3 is a malpractice against employment of citizens. This has been going on for quite some time. We just simply don't understand why the Minister of Manpower did not notice it. So many companies come here, they employ, the moment they step into our company, they start employing their own people from their own country. It's wrong. So number 4, we register a yellow card. Number 4 is use of emergency law against citizens like ISA and the civil defamation law. These are wrong. This is bullying of the citizen. Number 5, wasteful spending on unnecessary infrastructure. Can you imagine billions of dollars spent on Marina Garden, on river in Pisan? It's nonsense. This kind of money could have been spent to help us to build a better economy or to at least lower the housing cost. Number 6, billions of overseas investment loss. Do you know how much was the loss? I think for those who follow the newspaper, right, you must have come across some figure. Today we have lost to the tune of 15,000-16,000 per baby, per man, per woman in Singapore. 15,000-16,000 per person. Can you imagine? This kind of money could have been spent to help us to build a country, better economy. So, number 7, passing of law against citizens, against the interests of citizens. There are too many laws being passed where the citizen interests are not considered at all. For example, the law against the social media is total nonsense. How can you stop people from speaking? So today, sad to say, despite our 1st May protest, nothing much has changed. At the recent National Day rally speech, PMD merely make some excuses, make a show with some minor changes. It's called minor tweaking of the healthcare and housing policy. Nothing has changed at all. In public housing, land were mostly acquired at dirt cheap cost. You know how much? 70 cents per square foot. Green area, 70 cents per square foot. Alright? But this land were not properly used for public housing. They were sold at huge profit to private developer to develop expensive private property and commercial development. Can you imagine? We people are taken for a ride. And HDB flat were then sold at 250,000 to 700,000 per unit. Just imagine. At the average construction cost of 120,000 per unit. How much profit the government has made from squeeze from our citizens. My personal estimate is that at least 150,000 profit per unit was squeezed from our citizens. Realizing that the rising cost of living and housing has become a big problem to the citizen, the government merely lowered the cost of housing a bit by giving discount to family earning below 1,500. Is that helping our citizens? Not at all. For the rest of us, we have to bear with several hundreds of thousands of housing loans for 99-year lease for the rest of our life. How could a citizen survive in this kind of country where your income is 800, 1,000, all right, maybe 2,000, mostly mostly the lower income group cannot afford to pay this kind of housing costs and rising costs. And it's time for them to understand this is a big problem. We cannot just deny them. We got to do something about it. And in healthcare, you know what they do? Recently, they make such a hoo-ha. Oh, we are helping you, we are changing. You know what was done? They just deduct, they just announced that they will charge you the healthcare insurance premium by deducting against your own CPF saving. This is called helping. Can you survive? You can't survive in Singapore. That is why the government has not noticed the suffering of the people. It's high time for them to understand. Let me ask a basic question of the government, which probably has not been asked for many years, for 40 over years. When you declare Singapore to be a non-welfare country, a non-welfare state, what kind of tax do you charge them that is fair tax? Non-welfare, meaning that when you are unemployed, when you are sick, the government will leave you to die. Now, what kind of tax do they charge you? Welfare tax or non-welfare tax? They cannot answer right. But what are they collecting? By collecting GST at 7%, hundreds of thousands of housing tax. I call it housing tax because actually they actually make profit out of us. Alright? And COE, ERP, and all the privatization extra charges for utility, for everything, right? Okay? What kind of tax is this? It's worse than the tax charged by the welfare country. So aren't they taxing or overtaxing us enough to have to pay for what is fair to us? Pay for the public services, the housing, medical, transportation. These issues are not discussed at all. They just ram it down our throat all these years. They are overtaxing us and under providing services. Let me tell you one of the worst problems. Even J.B. Jeyaretnam, he died for it. And so far, nobody has really come to think too much about it. Our citizens' right and freedom. And he died for the cause of it. And so far, he has been made a bankrupt, but there is no listening to this issue. It's very important. It concerns our survival as well, and economic freedom. When you take over the main news media, like the Straits Times, Wan Pao, Chao Pao, leaving citizens to turn to the only source of news called social media. Don't you want to leave the social media alone? Because that's the only source for them to discuss and to learn some truth and some facts about this country. No, they won't let you go. They continue to build excuses after excuses to go against the citizen, to pinpoint them, to accuse them of spreading rumors and untruth. And recently they passed a law to shut down social media with some licensing condition. Can you imagine this? So therefore, as citizens, it's a big problem to us. We really have to fight for our justice, our fair due. And without justice, without fair due, all else will fail. It will be nothing. It will be meaningless to us. That is a very important thing. I hope in our change program that we can change. We can do something about it. And not only that, now they are employing a team of underground internet bouncer to go after citizens like bloggers, to trace their IP address, to go and try to do something to fix them. It's nonsense. That is the only last source of news, the truth. And yet you also don't want to spare us from speaking. So when 5 empty ballot boxes were found in the school storeroom after the president election, people's concerned with possible irregularity in the balloting process. Am I right? Do you know what they do? They just blame it on the contractor. Blame it on the contractor and say this is non-control item. That means to say it's nothing lah, nothing wrong with that. When a prisoner, Dinesh, died in prison, apparently after being beaten up by 10 prison officers, you should let the coroner inquiry be held, am I right? To look into how he died, right? But excuses after excuses were given. Not only for this incompetence, but all the event of incompetence, including MRT breakdown, haze, flood. Instead of making the minister who are paid millions of dollars responsible for the mistake, for the negligence. So, my message is that do not let the government treat us like that. Stand up, even if you are a last man. Do not continue to treat us like 3-year-old, easily pacified with some sweets and candy just to stop from crying. We do not want wayang, empty promises or look good excuses anymore, like the national conversation, like the TV reply. And I personally sent in a TV question to the CNA, asking Prime Minister to answer whether he will abolish the 5 major mistakes of the government. The CNA kept quiet. My answer were not attended to. My question were not answered at all. This is the kind of television appearance of a Prime Minister. Good question, but he doesn't want to answer. So today we are facing this problem of truth, justice. If without truth, without justice, without information, all else will fail. That is why when the Dubai example was mentioned just now, I think you all know, you clap very hard. Because it's a totally different situation. When foreigners come here, right, they should respect us, but we have to integrate with them. Spend 10 million to integrate with them. You might as well let our citizens have this function here. You will bring us more benefit. 10 million we can spend a lot of Hong Lim protest, job fair, all kind of fair to help ourselves, our citizens. The next GE is in 2015. So my change message today is that we must do something. We should be able to take our future into our hands. Like just now one young man from Poly, you know, the future is in our hand, we can do something about it. So today my message is that the next GE 2015-16 is near, 2 years from now. And it's very timely for us. Alright, we have enough of you. We are so happy that you all have attended 3 protests, some 2 protests. And it doesn't matter. Small does not mean it's not powerful. Small can be powerful. Even one person, when he speaks the right thing, it can be powerful. So we actually expect that the true blue Singaporean with a sense of justice and fair play will have to stay united as brothers and sisters to attend more Hong Lim protests, scout for talent, and vote in honest and passionate people to stand for election to serve us. This is my message. And you may ask me the question, what have you done? Yes, we are doing something. We are actually spending time every month having meeting to invite people with some potential, and I think Fatima is one of them we have to talk to. People who are professional, people who understand the world, to lead us into better future. You see, lead but not rule us. There's a sign there. We want this kind of people to come forward to lead us. So I hope that I can send a message. We must prepare for this to vote in the right people. Those of you who have the blood in you, who have a passion in you, you think that you can do something. Don't worry about education. As long as you are sufficiently educated, you can understand. We want you. I am one of those who have this meeting to try to encourage people to come forward. so that we can form them into a force to stand for election. This is in my personal capacity. I hope that more people can contact me, join me. If they come to know someone who have the interest, who have the passion to serve, we need these people. But coming back to our change, it's very important. Just now I mentioned the 5 major mistakes of the government. We have to change them. We have to address the issue so that it's not forgotten, so that it's not taken for granted. To solve our problem of high cost of living, loss of economic competitiveness, low birth rate, and lack of talent, we want the government to change the 5 policy mistakes of the past as follows. Number 1, stop abusing the foreign talent policy as an excuse for importing new citizens to vote for them to stay in power. It's nonsense. This is for dirty trick or ulterior motive. It's not honest government. Number 2, stop using the non-welfare policy as an excuse to overtax the people. We have heard enough nonsense. There is no justification for you to take us to run a non-welfare country with taxes that's the heaviest in the world. Number 4, government going into business to compete against the people. Which country do you have a government going into every business to compete against you for a living? Then why are we paying taxes for them to be more aggressive in competing against us? No wonder the MRT is having so much breakdown. Stop forming crony elitism. I think it's a word maybe some find it difficult to understand. Crony means you just get your friend to occupy the CEO position, getting millions of dollars, and then they make huge profit out of you to pay their own million salary. How can a society like this survive? You pay them $1 million, they have to charge you more to pay for their million. We need to vote in a new government who can understand the difference between public interest and commercial interest. If you know your MP, you know your minister, if you ever talk to them, do you find them understanding what is the difference between public and commercial interest? Even the NTUC, right? He's talking about tripartism. Tripartism means let the employer save and make the worker work faster, all right, and cheaper, all right, pay them $800. So we have a government, because the government has gone into business to compete against the people. They don't want to raise your salary. They don't want to raise your wage cost. It's against them. If you have dealing with a bank, the government is also into banking business. They don't care. They will charge you penalty $50, $100. Every little thing they charge you. So we are in the wrong direction now. We need more young people to come forward to identify a change program. And these 5 policies I just mentioned, right, will help you to tackle the root cause of our loss of economic competitiveness, our high cost of living. Every other thing all because of this 5 policies. For years, we have seen a lot of taxpayers' money being wasted to raise productivity of all sorts. Do you know what actually happening? There is no productivity at all. The government dare not say that they have increased productivity. As reported in the Straits Times on the 17th of September, 1 in 3 cases of the 44,000 productivity grant were found to contain mistakes in claims, and many cases were outright cheating. This is the situation now. Hundreds of millions was thrown away to benefit only people we don't know who. and the people are left to suffer. As posted in my Facebook, China has transformed itself within decades now, from a very poor country to a vibrant economy, improving the lives of millions of ordinary citizens due to what? Selfless leadership by example and virtue of action by good leader like Deng Xiaoping, with premiership limited to only 10 years, no more, to prevent abuse of power. Even China, a communist country, know what is democracy. So therefore, the only solution is for us to change the 5 mistakes of the PAP and vote in a new government. But sorry to say, many people are frightened. They have their job, and sometimes we can understand. But how about people who don't need to be frightened? And how am I going to solve the problem? I take it this way: we must change our mindset. Those so-called fear actually is a very illusory thing. Sometimes it can be self-created, self-imagined. How can they take action against thousands of people? It's impossible, right? So, can I ask you, those of you who feel that you have a passion to serve, please contact me or Gilbert, all right? Tell us whether you are interested and how we can work together to form a group of capable, able people to change. Thank you very much.
Another big hand for Robert Day. Robert also spoke for us on our first protest. So when I invite him, he's very, very enthusiastic to speak. Well, he's 66, but he looks like 56. And when he distributes flyers, he's 46. So it's fantastic. Big hand again, Robert. Thank you. I think we have about 1,000 people. Give yourself a clap. Singaporeans, 1,000 of you are here. Right, against the white paper. There are 5 employers out there. Right, I want to acknowledge them. The first employer is Chris Consulting. Jeremy. Jeremy, can you come here, Jeremy? Give a hand to Jeremy. Chris Consulting, please come up. Please come out here, Jeremy. Second employer, Cool Asia, Shaw. Please come out here, Cool Asia, Shaw. Sean, please come out. Employer, please come out here. Next employer, DCLA Construction and Engineering. Kate, can you come out here, Kate? The last employer is Kenan Chandra from EQ Media. Please come out here, employers. We want to talk to you. Kenan Chandra, please come up. Jeremy, please come up. Shaw is here. Right, Kate is here. Let's give them a hand. Very brave employers. They won't get PAP contracts from now on. Let's give Shaw, representing Cool Asia. How is it like, Shaw?
Oh, it's good, Gilbert. We always support the events, and this is an opportunity for us to make known our vacancies to fellow Singaporeans who wish to apply for the positions that we have available. Thank you for the opportunity.
How many positions do you have? I thought like you, but testing. How many? That sounds like me. How many positions do you have, Shaw, for Cool Asia?
We have 4 positions. I currently have job description for a sales position as well as technical support. So the JDs are available. Please help yourself. Send your CVs or your resumes to us, and we'll certainly get in touch with you.
How much do you pay? Very important. How much do the sales position pay?
It's performance based. I'm a salesperson as well, so it's all performance based. Yeah, but yeah, it's worth the effort.
Okay, Shaw from Croatia. Let's give a hand. The next is Kate from DCLA Construction. She's someone that calls me every week. No, Gilbert, I need workers. No, Gilbert, I need workers. No, but I provided her a few. Let's hear from Kate. What positions do you have, Kate?
Okay, I'm in the construction industry. So currently I have like a part-time admin, also one M&E position. I would like to look for apprentice in wet trade and also general worker or handyman.
How much do they pay? Okay. Is it a lot of money in construction?
It's not bad, it's quite lucrative, but the problem is that up till now, difficult for me to get workers. Actually, we pay about like between 70 to 90 a day for general work. But so far, I do not have any Singaporeans coming up to me. It's not a very tough job. All you need is you know, a bit of a DIY. In a wet trade, meaning that it's a bit like more to the architectural finishing. So basically, it's indoor job. Yeah, it's just that when people hear that it's a construction industry, they feel that it's a very tough now, you work under the ring. But for my business operations, we are actually working indoor. So I hope that anybody who is interested in general work, maybe transitioning in between, you know, looking for jobs now, can come and approach me and our counter and then register your interest. Salary is between 70 to 90 or 80 to $100 a day.
Let's give a hand. Kate, DCLA Construction. Well, won't get PAP contract from now on. No, okay, Kana Chandra. Let's give him a hand. Kana, what positions do you have, sir?
Hi everybody, I'm in the publishing industry. So we do magazines and we have an online site as well. And the magazine that we do is called Storm. And the whole idea of Storm is to find out what people think about what's going on in life. What are the topical issues? So important in that is that we get the perspectives of everybody. So from leaders through to people on the ground, through business leaders, we have a number of interviews and discussions about what's relevant today. So what we're looking for are people who have viewpoints that they would like to share with us, that they would like to share with the readers of the magazine, online as well as in print. So we're looking for writers. We're looking also for people who are on the commercial side of it, who are willing to sell ad space and things like that. And that's purely on a sort of commission basis.
So have you found anyone yet, Cameron?
Not yet. They've been all but they're all paying attention to people up here.
So if you need a job, right, there's a job fair there. And the jobs are only open for Singaporeans, no PR, only Singaporeans. Okay. Am I right?
It's open to anybody actually. Ideally, Singaporeans should step up because if we are talking about trend shaping here, who knows it better than the Singaporeans on the ground, right?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Gilbert.
Both Gilbert. Thanks. Yeah, next we have a special item by someone who sings. Right, for the longest time when we organize events here, I wanted some entertainment. But you know, every time last minute, hey Gilbert, cannot. I don't think I want to sing in Hong Park. Wait, cannot sing anymore. My last chance to sing. But this guy is very serious. He has a surname, same name as me, Gilbert Lewis. Let's give Gilbert a hand. All yours, sir.
Thank you. They don't want me to speak because I'm Indian. I never stop speaking. So they decided this is an Indian guy, dangerous, just make him play the guitar. Then he has to finish the song. Okay? Now before I start, it's really great to see you all here. And I'll tell you that I'm actually an ex-international school teacher. I'm Singaporean, in case somebody wants to throw me out. But I might get halfway short or something. You've got to look out for some ISD guys here. They don't like me at all. But I'd like to point out that there's a very important person here today before I start. I know he's going to take all the fame and glory away from me now. Can we have a round of applause for Ravi? Where's Ravi? Where Ravi, come here. Let him see your face. Now, listen, just because I'm better looking than him, don't hold it against him, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this man has done massive amount for Singapore. It's an honor to have him here on the stage with us. Yes. Normally I'm very selfish. I don't like to share the stage. But Ravi, no choice. Okay. Ravi, can you say a few words? But if you say too long, then I won't sing.
I wish you all the best for your singing. I think I should not speak much but to listen to your song.
I tell you what, if I don't sing well, we'll call it to speak, okay? Look, ladies and gentlemen, I was just commenting to Kanan Chandran, in Australia, when we have the sun, if we were in Australia, all the Australians would sit right where the sun is shining, with cold beer and women with very tight bikinis, you know. But you see, Singapore, we all look for where is the shade, okay? So it's unfortunate, but it's good news because now we have more people. I'd like everybody to come forward, because at least to support me, instead of standing right back there. Come over here a little bit. You hear some good music now, it'll be loud, but don't worry about it, okay? Now, I have one more thing to say, but it doesn't come, okay? Never mind. Okay. Front row people here, a little bit loud, don't worry. Okay, this song is dedicated to Gilbert Goh. I know we have the same name, I'm Gilbert Lewis. But Gilbert Goh and his volunteers have done a tremendous job. We don't see it. It's not the number of people who don't turn up today. Remember, it's awareness. All the people who received it yesterday in every mall, they know what's going on. But then we Singaporeans have always said, I'll be there, and we're never there, you know. I have done that a million times, okay? It's not because I don't believe in the cross, but because too many distractions in life, okay? Normally it's pretty women, okay? Yeah, you can clap if you like. When the night is cold, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Oh, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, stand by me. One more time. No matter how much money you've got, oh, stand by me. Look, Singaporeans, what happened to you all? Got brainwashed so many times, is it? Look, it will sing. I just met a beautiful German girl. Her name is Rika. She must be hanging around somewhere here. She's visiting and she said, you know what I like about Singapore? You know, I can walk about and there's enough space. I said, my darling, that's not going to happen very long anymore, right? There won't be any more space left, okay? Recognize you can play your part. Let it another song. Although they told me to sing a song in memory of Dinesh, but I'm going to read it. I was going to sing you all a very sad song, but anyway, we'll read that. I'd like also Gilbert, sorry for 1 minute. I told you, right, they don't want me to speak, right, because I'm Indian, okay? I also like to say thank you very much for the BBC for being here today. Can we give them a big round of applause for the BBC to come here? I was in England and tried to contact the BBC. Now they are here, you know. Because BBC come help me. They're trying to kill me, okay? Thank you very much, music lovers. Look, it's wonderful you are here. I hope they invite me again. This time they'll make me only play one song for sure, okay? One more song, shout loud. Shout it loud. Okay, one more song, okay. Okay, let's do a slow one. We will rock you. We will rock you. Alright. No, I can't do that. I can do a couple of other new songs, Girl on Fire and whatever. But let me do a slow song here in memory of Dinesh. I have unfortunately, although being an international school teacher, they have kept me behind bars, and that's how they started to poison me. And I had the help of the Australian Embassy, the British Embassy, Amnesty International. Anyway, it's horrible what goes on inside, and he has been, as far as I'm concerned, Dinesh was murdered. No two ways about it. He was murdered. You know, and then you have blood on your hands, and you try to find a way out of it. Let's do a song here from John Lennon. I'll ask you all your advice. Do you want to do Let It Be or you want to do Imagine? Imagine, okay, here, Imagine. Let's do Imagine, okay? Let It Be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mama Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, and speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, oh, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, and there will be an answer, let it be. But though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see, and there will be an answer, let it be. Everybody sing now. Let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. One more time. Let it be. And there will be an answer, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. My Mary comes to me, and speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light I see. There could be an answer, let it be. Everybody one more time. Let it be. Thank you very much. You know, I feel a little safer today that everybody is here. Maybe they won't try to kill me anymore. Let's see now, okay? Thank you, God bless you. I'd like to thank Gilbert Goh and everybody for inviting me, okay? Thank you.
Gilbert Lewis, one more big round of applause. We will invite him from now on, every event. Is it okay with you? Yeah! Yes, Gilbert Lewis, my brother, same name as Gilbert. Yeah, we have a special guest after Gilbert Lewis. We want to invite a very young, thank you, primary 2 boy. He's only primary 2, 8 years old only, you know. 8 years old only, you know. So we're asking Gabriel, please come on board. We have practiced with you. Come. Roy, can you invite Gabriel to the stage? You have to go down. Yeah. Gabriel is only primary 2, but he has a lot of views on politics. Primary 2, you know. 8 years old, you know. So we give him a hand. Gabriel!
This is not practice, okay? Hello, Gabriel. How old are you? 8 years old. Are you studying now? Are you studying now? Oh, where's your mom? Where's your mom? Can you say hi to your mom? Where's mom? Mom, can you say hi? Okay. Oh. Did your mom bring you here today?
Yeah.
Why did your mom bring you here today? Because she wants to speak up for Singapore too? No? Okay, remember yesterday when we asked you, so what do you want for Singapore? Remember what you said? That you do not want too many poor people?
I don't want any poor people. I want everybody to be rich.
This is the point. And then what else do you want Singapore to be like? No littering?
No cheating of money.
No cheating of money. No matter. Oh. Now people have lost our dignity. Now children no longer know how to be happy. Now is this the country that we want? Is this the life that we want? Now is this what we want for our children? Now there was a time when Singapore was a place that we can all be truly proud of. There was a time when Singapore was a place where people from all over the world would want to come and learn from us. Now there was a time when people were happy and we knew that our government was taking care of us. But times have changed, not because we have changed, but because our government has lost its morals and they have lost their integrity. Now Singapore is now one of the most unequal countries in the world. We have one of the highest prices in the world, but Singaporeans are paid the lowest wages among the developed countries. So we have the lowest purchasing power. Yes, but we are the richest country. Yet our government cannot give our people the standard of living that the other truly developed countries can. Now our old people have to work as cleaners in the hawker centers, in the toilets, and our old people cannot rest at home and retire happily on $600, $800 every month. Because they have been robbed of their savings. They have been betrayed by their government. Now our older Singaporeans take up most of the blue-collar jobs in Singapore and they have been paid low wages for more than the past 10 years. In fact, the poor in Singapore have not seen their real wages grow since 2000. Everything changed since 2000 because the PAP lost its bearings.
We don't have a Swiss standard of living.
Yes, the PAP created policies that are unequal. The rich continue to get richer while the poor continue to get poorer. All this time the PAP refuses to give money back to the poor. Our poor and our old have helped the PAP grow. But the PAP has turned their backs on us and on our elderly in Singapore. Now the PAP spends the lowest government spending for Singaporeans among all the developed countries. The PAP spends one of the lowest on healthcare in the world. In fact, Singaporeans actually have to pay the highest out of pocket for our own healthcare. Now prices have shot up, but our wages continue to be depressed. We continue to feel squeezed. Now what we want is not a government that tells us to keep working, because one day they will increase our wages. Now what we want is minimum wage. Now what we want is earn high wages. Now what we want is to earn enough so that even as prices keep increasing, even as housing prices have shot all the way up, and even as things have become so expensive in Singapore, now what we want is that we can continue to earn enough to live properly, to save, to retire. Now what we want is to be treated fairly and equally. To be treated like proper human beings, with our pride and our dignity. It's what we want as a government and a society that respects us for what we do, and not a society which looks down on us because of what we do. Now what we want is a society that says that even as cleaners, as construction workers, as service staff, as nurses, we are people to be valued, people to be respected, looked up to, admired and protected. Now what we want are to be paid higher wages even as cleaners, construction workers and service staff. No matter who we are or what we do, we have a right to a life of dignity. To live a life that is safe and protected. We have a right to earn $2,000 every month, regardless of who we are. Now why must people sell their homes to see the doctors because they cannot afford to pay their hospital bills? Now why must children have their self-esteem lowered because the schools tell them that they are not good enough? Why must we constantly live in fear? Because we do not know if we have enough to live another day. This is not the society that we want. Now this is not the society that we believe in. We do not want to live in fear. We do not want to live in suspicion. And we do not want to live in anger. Now, but why are we angry? Or what are we angry about? Or do we know what we're angry about? Okay, we think that we are angry with the foreigners. We think that we're angry with them for coming into Singapore to take our jobs. We blame them for us taking home low wages. But we scold them for not behaving like us. But what do we want them to behave like? Do we want them to be like us, angry, bitter, and unhappy with our lives? Now, so I ask a question again. Now, why are we angry? We are not angry with the foreigners. We are angry with the government. Now, we are angry with their policies. We are angry that we are keeping quiet. We are angry that we are not speaking up about them and what's not right. Now we are angry that we have given our lives away, that we have not stood up and spoken up against them, for them robbing away what is ours and stealing from us. And so we're angry, and we turn our attention to the foreigners instead. Now if the government creates policies that allow more foreigners to come in, and we cannot do anything about the government, we turn our attention to the foreigners, because they are the products of the government's policies. Now think about it. If we were to migrate to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, or any other country, do we want people to be angry because we come into their country? Now what we are angry about is the government's policies. So all this while we're angry with the foreigners, the government rubs its hands in glee. Now let the people fight among themselves. Now let the people fight over themselves. Let the people scold each other. Let the people laugh at one another. And as long as we continue doing that, we forgot what is the problem. Now the problem is the government. The problem is the PAP. Now so Singaporeans, we cannot fall into their trap. Now we cannot fall into their trap. So remember Singaporeans, what we want are higher wages. Now what we should really do is to turn our attention back to the government and to ask for higher wages, to ask for minimum wage. So I ask you today, what should we stand for? Now who should we turn our attention to? Now we need to know this very clearly inside ourselves. We must always stay focused and we must always tell the PAP, now Singapore is ours and we are going to take it back. And we will create a Singapore that we want. And we can. The PAP has since its votes dropped since 2000. Since 2000, the PAP has turned its back against the Singaporeans. And we have turned our backs against them. Now from 2001 to 2011, 2001 to 2011, their votes dropped from 75% to 66% to 60%. Now 2011 was the lowest vote share that the PAP has ever gotten since 1965. And we will make it go even lower to below 55%. We want change. Now Singaporeans, you know what is right for you. You know what is right and you know what you will do to protect yourself. Since 2000, the income inequality has kept going up. The proportion of Singaporeans who are able to meet their CPF minimum sum have dropped. Healthcare prices have increased, housing prices have increased, COE has increased. Now all this while our wages remain stagnant. We know our lives are not getting better. We feel our lives are squeezed. And we live in fear day by day. And that's why we vote against the PAP. And that's why the PAP is losing and will continue to lose. Now the question is, how do we vote? Now how do we vote to ensure that we can get the kind of government that we want? But the question is, what is the kind of government that we want? Is it one where the opposition forms only 1/3 of the government, all just to block the PAP for 5 years? Or do we want a government where the opposition parties takes up most of the seats and form a coalition government that will represent the interests of all Singaporeans? Well, the choice is up to us. We have a choice as to whether Singapore will continue down the road of inequality and break down in 15 to 20 years, or we can put a different government in place and allow us to chart a different direction and a new way forward for Singapore. Now it might be uncomfortable in the first 5 to 10 years, but once we have fairness, once we have equality, our country, our society will last several more generations. Now we have a democratic society based on justice and equality, so as to achieve happiness, prosperity and progress for our nation. Now if we want fairness and equality, then we have to vote for the fair government that we want. So now at the next election, this is what we do. If we want a government that will take care of all our interests, 1. Vote for all the Workers' Party seats. 2. Vote for the top 2 teams of each of the other parties, NSP, SPP, SDP and DPP. Now we need to vote tactically and we need to vote smart. The reason why the PAP does not want to have election polls is because they know that if the people know how they are going to vote, the PAP will lose. So we must think ahead before them and we must vote to vote for what is right for us, so that we can get enough people in to take up the majority and more than 50% of the seats, which will allow us to form the majority in the government. Now Singapore today is at the turning point. Never before has our society been so unequal. Never before have our people felt so unhappy. Now never before have the people felt so vulnerable. Never before have we felt so bullied and pushed to the corner. Now it is time to push back, Singaporeans. It is time to let our voices be heard. It is time to rise and stand united. Now we cannot let them divide us. We cannot allow ourselves to be distracted. It is time to stay united and to stay strong together. We need to be brave. We need to have courage. We must have the conviction and strength to stand up, to come here today and say what we believe. We must believe in a fair society, a society that every single one will be taken care of by the government and by each and every one of us. Now it is time to be brave. It is time to come out. It is time to do what is right for ourselves, to choose what is right for us. And show the government, show the PAP that we mean business. Now we must believe that we can live in a country where our people are equal. We must believe that we can live a life that will be respected. We must believe that Singapore can and will be a truly equal country. Now we must believe that we must create the Singapore for ourselves. That we cannot let the PAP steal Singapore from us. For far too long they have destroyed our country, our pride and our dignity. Now we must believe that we have the power to make things right. The power is within you. The power lies in your hands. In all of you. And in all of us. Now because we are the people, we are the power. And we must always remember that and stand up and think back what is ours.
So far the best speaker, Roy! Oh, do you know we have a few events and there are some speakers, right? And every time they are poached by the opposition party. I think Roy would like him to be poached by a party. Do you think he speaks well? Get another hand, Roy! Yeah, I think this stage is good for grooming talent. For the opposition. But if it goes to the PAP, more pain. Okay. Yeah, we actually have overshot our time. Do you know that after all the speakers have spoken, there's a 1 hour real conversation where you are invited to ask questions and the panelists will be there to answer your question if they can. Probably I direct all the questions to Leong Ziyan. Yeah, we want to invite another icon, right? Darren. Is it Darren pictures? His pictures here has gone around the world. Right. Darren, come. I've been looking for him for 6 to 8 months. I said, hey, I must get this guy to speak, but I couldn't find him. But he was here on National Day where we have a celebration. And he said, hey, Gilbert, I want to speak now, your next event. Oh, so easy. Right. So no, Darren, right, a very handsome hung, right. Or someone say, no, hey, you must invite Darren. Half of the audience will be women. So who likes to hear from Darren? Probably the woman and the man as well. Right, let's give Darren another hand. Darren.
I had a dream once, a dream that many of us share. I dreamt of a prosperous Singapore, a country that could give me security in all avenues and let me retire comfortably. A country where I could raise my kids happily, let them enjoy the fruits of this nation and grow up happily. Live in a house big enough for their own kids, and in the future, they could raise their kids and I could raise their grandchildren. A country that preaches equality and justice, but that dream has died. Along with this country, good afternoon to all my friends at Hong Lim Park, Tai Keng Hall. Just to answer to those who may be curious about who I am and what I do, my name is Daryl Tan. I am 22 this year and I graduated from Republic Polytechnic. I am currently pursuing a career in interior design. About my play card, I understand that it has caused a lot of misunderstandings, but it is all misconstrued perceptions. Do not be mistaken by the message on the play card that I wrote. Singapore for Singaporeans. This message is meant for PAP. It's not directed at the foreigners. I have met many nice foreigners here and made friends with a few of them. I am aware of the contributions of the foreigners to our country. Sorry, from our foreigners to our country. But in this time where Singaporeans face low pay, we are wondering if the PAP has remembered Singaporeans and when will they create policies which will protect our pay. I fear for myself, my future offsprings, and all Singaporeans because our livelihood will be in jeopardy as the PAP has been curbing Singapore into a country meant for foreigners. It is human nature and our instinct to seek for a better place. I do not blame the foreigners for coming to Singapore hoping to find better jobs and support their families back in their native land. But the blame lies in the PAP for allowing almost anyone to come in. The reason I am here today is not to offer you a solution to the flawed policies. I shall leave that to the opposition parties. I am here today in hopes to inspire more people to stand up against the tyranny of PAP and to remind people why we need to vote for the opposition parties. Look, I am nobody. I don't possess the correct credentials for me to be talking about politics. But I am speaking from my heart as an average Singaporean. We need foreigners to help with the economic growth of Singapore. They took many jobs that Singaporeans were unwilling to take, such as construction jobs. I respect and appreciate all their effort for helping us build Singapore. But that was over a decade ago. Right now, Singaporeans are facing the issue of not being able to secure good paying jobs because the PAP forces foreigners to take lower wages. Thus, it causes the wages of Singaporeans to be depressed. And the PAP groupies have the audacity to tell us that we are doing well. It is not that Singaporeans are not willing to take up blue-collar jobs. It is not that we have a pride issue or that we are lazy. The fact is that those jobs are not substantial enough for Singaporeans. We can barely make ends with those jobs. Just open your eyes to see. Educate yourself about the reality of Singapore by just looking around you. The PAP gives out scholarships to other countries, but what about our own people? Why are the poor Singaporeans not able to get scholarships? Why are there Singaporean students who are excelling academically, facing issues in receiving a scholarship? And compared to 10 years ago, our expenses have increased tremendously, but not our salary. And yet PAP tell us that we are doing fine. HDB flats are slowly transitioning into exclusive housing. I think PAP needs to relearn the meaning of public housing. And can you imagine how the squeeze will be by 2030? Many of us cannot afford to drive a car and to take public transport. Why serve the nation when the government do not serve us back? Who and what are we defending? PAP? Why are you protecting those the PAP want us to protect? What about the rest of Singaporeans? There are rich expats that are holding high ranks in businesses here, and they are able to afford private housing and expensive cars. But on the other hand, there are many of the foreigners working blue-collar jobs here, and they are living a very tough life in Singapore. During one of my renovation projects that I was doing, I met a painter from Myanmar. He earns close to only 750 Sing per month. He lives in a small rented room with 3 other friends. With that $750, he has to feed himself, pay for rental and transport, and send back the rest of the money to his family back in Myanmar. And he is not alone. Many of the Bangladeshi workers are living very poorly in Singapore with a terrible standard of living. How can PAP let these workers come in to work for such a pathetic wage and let them squeeze into small apartments with terrible conditions? The PAP do not care about them, they do not care about us. The next part of my speech is about trust, and it is dedicated to my Malay friends. So forgive me if my Malay is not too good. A good friend of mine helped me translate. Saudara dan saudari, kaum Melayu saya di Singapura. Perasan tak pandangan pemerintah kita atas kaum Melayu di negara kita ini? Dalam tentera langit atau Air Force atau dalam tentera laut Navy memang tidak terlibat. Orang Melayu langsung. Kebanyakannya masuk jadi orang infantry, storeman atau seorang pemandu. Dalam armor infantry, seseorang Melayu pun tidak terlibat. Teruk tak? Macam mana nak mempercayai pemerintah yang tak langsung mempercayai anda? I have many Malay friends. I've seen many hardworking Malays contributing to society, supporting their families. They have been positive role models for me. Why isn't the government allowing more Malays in the Air Force, in Navy? And worst of all, when you come to an armor infantry unit in army, there is 0 Malays. Why is this happening? Yes. These are the few methods out of the many ways to keep themselves, for PAP to keep themselves in power. The first method will be cronyism. A lot of the big shots in Singapore are somehow related to Lee Kuan Yew. Friends and relatives of the Lee family are holding high positions in parliaments, MNCs and SMCs. The second method will be gerrymandering. It is a practice that attempts to establish a political advantage for a particular party or group by manipulating district boundaries. Gerrymandering should be illegal. Let me give you a very good example. Our votes are not confidential. they need to know which areas are supportive of the opposition parties. I stay in Hougang Avenue 8. I used to be in Aljunied GRC. Last elections, my area got cut up to Ang Mo Kio. You know why? PAP knows that most people in Hougang votes for opposition. Fearing that they will lose Aljunied GRC, they decided to sacrifice my area to Ang Mo Kio GRC. They know that Ang Mo Kio GRC will not lose as it's the foothold of PAP, and dear Mr. Lee is running it. That is just one of the many ways how our ruling tyrants ensure that they can retain their thrones. The third method is to grant PR citizenship so that they can vote. Let me ask you, out of fear and or out of loyalty, who will the new citizens vote for? But this is something that will change as time passes. When the foreigners are granted citizenship and becomes Singaporeans like us, they will soon start to see the plight of living here. They will have to live like us and suffer with us. So when the time comes, do you really think the new citizens will vote for PAP? Yes, you are right. You must enlighten them. PAP loves to feed Singaporeans propaganda and doctrines. When will Singaporeans learn that we are indomitable, that there is no need to fear the lightning? Do not be fooled, my friends. This is not a conspiracy or rumor. This is the harsh truth. It is about the philosophy of politics. It is about control. PAP had everything planned out from the beginning. Everything they say or do is meant to control us, to make sure that we are followers, not thinkers. From letting their relatives to take up important roles in parliament. And from birth, we have been force-fed PAP's propaganda into our mouths through classes like social studies in secondary school. We were taught from young about how glorious PAP is and that everything they do is for our own good. They have been brainwashing us since young to make sure that we will always love PAP. PAP has got us in every direction, leaving us with not much choices. But they forgot one thing. They have forgotten that no matter how docile we are, there will be a point of time when we snap and start turning against them. Do not believe a single thing the government says. Their souls has been poisoned by greed and power. They will do whatever it takes to stay in power and to stay rich. Whatever cooling measures they have, whatever new rules they have on hiring foreigners, it is all a show. A show they sell to Singaporeans to make us happy. That's all the PAP do. They sell you illusions. They will preach about how the new changes are going to help us, but they will never put it into action. And if there are any Straits Times reporters here, you guys are not real reporters because you do not report the truth. I urge you guys to stop reading our beloved Straits Times, especially when the news is related to local politics. Our press freedom ranking is placed at 149 out of 179 countries. We have lesser press freedom than Malaysia and Russia. All our news, our local channels are all under one control, under the control of PAP. And have you guys seen Ask PMD? Oh my god, the whole show is scripted. Any talk shows or forums that involve Singaporeans asking Mr. Lee questions, they are all scripted. The questions have been vetted before. They will not allow questions that might inconvenience our dear Mr. Lee. The whole point of the show is to promote PM Lee's view and make him look as he is a strong and efficient leader, which he is not. Voters of Singapore, you have to realize that we are being taught by our government. It doesn't matter at this point of time who can come up with a good policy. Our ruling government, they only crave for wealth and control for themselves. Before we can change policies, we have to change the government. Let me put it in perspective here. These are a group of so-called leaders and ministers who earn millions of dollars per year, and their reasoning to prevent corruption. Now imagine that. If you are a leader, you're supposed to care about Singapore. You're not supposed to be corrupted just because the salary is low. There is no logic behind that. As a minister, you should be a role model, a compassionate leader. You don't want to imply a minimum wage system here, but you give yourselves a minimum $1 million salary. Let us clap for them. Why are we paying them to create more problems for us? They expect us to solve the problems ourselves. They increase the prices on everything imaginable except for our salaries. Then they blame us for not having enough kids. Is this the kind of government you want? Our ministers are lacking of love and compassion. The thirst for domination and money has taken over their hearts. They run this country like a company. All we are to the government is a group of obedient money-making machines. When did we turn into materialistic-minded people? When did we all lose hope? Always remember this. Money does not equate to happiness. But our government has forced us to think about money every day. Lily Tomlin said this: the trouble with the rat race is that even if you win, you're still a rat. Don't you feel that we have lost the quality of life in Singapore? Don't you feel that life in Singapore has become meaningless? We work just to get by, we work enough to raise our kids, we work enough to get a small house, then we continue working till we die. More than economic growth, we need compassion. More than technology, we need equality. More than the right policies, we need the right people. PAP crowd themselves kings, but they enslave the people. They regiment our lives but free themselves. They bring in wealth only to be shared between their family. You, the people, have the power to create wonderful things. You, the people, have the power to change this country. You, the people, have the power to vote the government out. Let us all unite, foreigners and Singaporeans alike. We can make this country a better place to live in for everybody. Do not listen to the people who say that we are done for, that we can't change the government. There is still hope. We can and we will vote them out in 2016. The time is near. The misery that is upon us now shall be gone in time to come. And PAP will be nothing more than a memory. Our pleas to the government fell on deaf ears. My friends, are we still going to ask for permission or shall we fight for it? In the name of justice and equality, let our voices at Hong Lim Park echo throughout the streets of Singapore and tell PAP that we are here to stay, that we are awake, that we, the people, have the power to vote them out!
Well, good thing tomorrow, I already bought my air ticket to Jakarta. I'm flying off tomorrow, really, 2 p.m. I'm getting worried. After every speaker, I say, oh, die. But we want to acknowledge some visitors here. I think the STP is here. Let's give the STP party a clap. STP. Mr. Chi Soon Juan, Dr. Chi. Can we ask Dr. Chi to come on stage? Dr. Chi. Dr. Chi. No, Dr. Chi. 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 Thank you, Doctor. Without Dr. Chi, there won't be Hong Lim Park. Let's give him another hand, because Dr. Chi. Right. We went to prison several times because He wants a better Singapore. He was so bankrupt many times because he wanted a better Singapore as well. Let's give him a minute to say something. Is it okay, Singapore? A minute? Yes. Thank you.
I just wanted to tell all of you that we just had our party conference, and it just so happened that it was today, on the 5th of October. But during our conference, we just felt that we had to come down here to Hong Lim Park to give all of you the support. This is not just your event, it's an event for all Singaporeans and an issue that all of us must be very, very concerned about. I am just so very glad to have heard, just to be in time to hear the last speaker and to see all the young faces up here. It is so encouraging. It's so encouraging. 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that, when we were here fighting for free speech and assembly, never in our wildest imagination did we think that we would see events like these. It is so encouraging. And I just want to thank also Mr. Gilbert Goh, for the work that he's done, he's put in. And we just want to be here to say that the SDP were here with all of you, in spirit and now in our physical presence as well. You can count on us to serve you. You can count on us to lead in any way, in every way that we can, to ensure that this whole issue of this immigration policy, this very unthinking immigration policy that the PAP has put in place, is something that we need to stop and even reverse. But I do want to sound a note of caution. Speaking up against this policy, against the PAP's notion that we should bring our population up to 6.9 million, is very different from taking it out on the foreigners who are here. I ask all of us here in Singapore to be the people that we truly are, the tolerant people that we all are. And if we attack the policy. We point out the flaws in the policy, not against the people who are here and who are working. On behalf of the members of the SDP, I give you my word. We will be here through thick and thin. And as long as you are here with us, we will be here with you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Dr. Chi. Okay. Oh. Yeah, confirm. Confirm tomorrow I have to fly out. Right, I don't know who is coming next though. Right. Yeah, we have finance speaker. Right. Every time I say, hey, Dr. Leong can speak or not? I say, okay. Everything is okay. So it's probably has been with me for 5 years. Spoke for us probably 15 to 16 times. And always very enthusiastic. Leong Zhiyan! Big hand for him. You can have 1 hour. Are you ready to stay for 1 hour?
At Gilbert's last event, I was the first speaker. Today, I'm the last one. So some of my friends say, Leong Si Yen, you kena sabo, you know. I said, why? Because the last speaker is the worst one. The spotlight is on you. And worse still, by the time your turn comes to speak, maybe everything you want to say already said by everybody else. Then how? Now you know why I always speak without script. Otherwise, jalat, busy deleting. And after more than 2.5 hours in the hot sun, you are the last speaker. You all must be to find any government that does not spend a single cent on healthcare, pensions, or public housing for its people. And that is the main theme of my speech today. I say in no uncertain terms. Hey, what is this? What is this? I saw this pretty lady walking around with this placard. A bit far, cannot read properly, but now come near already. Wow. Government spent $0 on healthcare, CPF, HDB. I think she must be one of the few who has read my article on this, which I published 5 days ago. Yes? You want to stand here the whole day, huh? You got pretty lady with this kind of placard, huh? Then tonight video come out all the time, not on me, you know. Why do I say the government does not spend a single cent on healthcare, CPF or HDB? Many of my friends who saw the title of my article which I wrote 5 days ago said, hey, Leong Si Yen, you siao or what? Huh? You are telling the people that the government doesn't spend a single cent? How can it be? Well, be like this pretty lady, go read my article. There is a video in the article about 15 minutes explaining what I'm going to tell you. Let me start with healthcare. Singaporeans contribute as much as 9.5% of their income to the Medisave account. According to the Department of Statistics, monthly digest of statistics, in 2012, Medisave CPF contributions in total was 26.1 billion. The maximum contribution rate is 36%. We have 26.1 billion. So it is up to 9.5% from Medisave. How much is the annual contribution that you all make to your Medisave account? I estimate 7 billion. What is the government spending, public spending on healthcare in a year? According to the Ministry of Health's website, financial year 2012, government spending on healthcare 4.9 billion, around there. About 4.1 billion in operating expenditure, the rest in development expenditure. Even in the MWH website, it says our public healthcare spending as a percentage of GDP is only 1.4%. This is one of the lowest public spending on GDP in the world. So if we contribute $7 billion in a year, and the government only spends 4.9 billion, is the government spending a single cent on healthcare? Even if you add what you withdraw from Medisave in a year to pay for direct medical expenses, that is 770 million. Even if you add the amount that you withdraw from your Medisave account to pay for your Medishield premiums, which is about 450 million. Even if you add the Medifund that they give to the medical institution in the year of 98 million, you add all these together, it's still less than 7 billion. Some of you look very puzzled. Allow me to demonstrate this to you if I can find my $7 billion. You see here, 7 $1 billion notes. So every year, you contribute $7 billion to your Medisave account. So it goes to the left pocket. Okay? Now every year, how much does the government spend on healthcare? 4.9 billion. Let's round up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still got 2 billion balance, huh? Then I add the amount from your Medisave that goes to pay your direct medical expenses, your Medishield premium, your Medifund, 1+ billion. Still got slightly less than 1 billion left. That's why government is not spending a single cent on healthcare. I cannot find any other government in the world that does not spend a single cent on healthcare. Uniquely Singapore. They have announced that they want to increase Medishield premiums again. Although they will just increase on 1st March this year. Why? Because they don't have everybody covered. Now they only cover 92.8%. Another 7+% don't have Medishield. So to cover everybody, we need to increase. The last time a question was asked in Parliament, what is the difference between Medishield claims payout versus Medishield premiums received? The answer, in the last 10 years or so, there's a surplus of 850 million. And this is only for the last 10 years. What about the years before these 10 years? How many more hundreds of millions? What about the interest on all these surpluses over the years? You add them all together. You still want to increase your Medishield premium? Better keep the money first. Don't talk too excited after money drop. Next, let me move on to CPF. This is very easy to understand. CPF is your money. It's your contribution. Yes. So does the government spend a single cent? Does it? No. Not only that, government make a lot of money from your CPF. Why? According again to the Department of Statistics monthly return, about 6% per annum over the last 20 years in US dollar terms. And what do you get? 2.5%. I cannot find any other pension fund in the world that pays such a low interest. So it's your money. The government is not spending a single cent on your CPF, and on top of that, they make a lot of money from your CPF. Never return back to us. Sometimes have. Since you ask, I give you the answer. Sometimes you get the occasional top up to your Medisave account, right? Few $100, $200 there. Add together, few $100 million. This is peanuts compared to all the billions they have had used over the years and paying you such a low interest. Next, move to HDB. Government don't spend a single cent on HDB as well. This one also very simple to understand. The land is either state land or is land acquired from the people long ago under the Land Acquisition Act for very low amounts, maybe $1 or something. Then they build the HDB flat, they sell to you. They tell you it's subsidized because the market flat sell 500,000, they sell you 30% discount, so they get the subsidy. But look at the cash flows. They don't lose money. If you acquire the land at such low cost, how can the HDB flat be the most expensive public housing in the world if you take it as a multiple of Singaporeans' income? We have the most expensive public housing. Why do you think almost every year people write to the forum pages, newspaper, people ask in Parliament,
Can you break down the cost of building HDB flats? No answer. The last time that the newspaper reported a breakdown of HDB flats was in the early 1980s. My dear Singaporeans, I hate to say this. You have been taken for a ride, a very long ride. Under Section 34 of the Town Councils Act, whenever there's an election, all the town councils' accumulated surpluses will be transferred to the sinking fund. What does that mean? Whenever there's an election, all your money that can be used for operating expenses is transferred to the sinking fund, locked up, can be used for major improvement. What kind of a parliament do we have that we have people in parliament who can allow such unfair, undemocratic legislation to be passed? Why do you think your SNCC went up after the election? Because all the accumulated surplus gone. And that is not all. Section 34 says, if the same party wins in the same town council, you only need to transfer 80%. If the different party wins, you have to transfer 100%. This is unfair, this is undemocratic, this is unconstitutional. The casino annual report just came out. 60 pages. Only one page of narrative statistics. Very good news for you, you know. The number of daily visits by locals to casino has dropped by 20,000 to 17,000. You multiply 17,000 by 365 days, you get more than 6 million. So 1 year, there was 6 million local visits to the casino. And this is dropped from 20,000. You multiply 20,000 a day by 365 days, you get more than 7 million. The casinos have been open for about 3 years. So in the last 3 years, does it mean about 20 million local visits to the casinos? Only 7.7% of locals visit the casino more than once. How many visit just once? Cannot tell you. The gaming revenue of the two casinos. Gaming revenue means the money that they earn from gambling alone. I understand it's more than $5 billion a year. How much of this $5 billion is Singaporeans' money? So we are on the subject of money. We're going to talk about if government don't spend a single cent on healthcare, CPF, HDB, where does the money go? The money go to spend on other things lah. F1, YOG, foreigner scholarships, I won't go on. But at the end of the day, much of this money ends up in the reserves. So how much do we have in the reserves? Oh, nobody knows, secret also. But we estimate it's probably around $1 trillion. According to the Department of Statistics Monthly Digest of Statistics, if you use IMF reporting standards, our surplus in the last 7 years or so, we estimate is about $187 billion against what is reported to you in the media, against what is reported to you every year in the budget. That one, the last 7 years or so, is only over $17 billion. So world of difference. 187 billion according to IMF standards fiscal reporting, and 17 plus billion according to uniquely Singapore budget reporting. Last year, you read the newspaper, they tell you the surplus is 3.9. Yeah, read the Department of Statistics Monthly Digest. Last year, the surplus IMF standard was $32 billion. I'm going to end with a Chinese proverb and then the title of a song. Don't worry, title of a song only, not going to sing. Okay? 先天下之忧而忧，后天下之乐而乐。这就是拿薪水，尤其是拿薪水很高， 每天说我们是为国为民的人所应该做的。You all sang Let It Be so enthusiastically just now. I say to you as I end, do not let it be, because if you continue to let it be, government will continue not to spend a single cent on healthcare, on HDB, on CPF, and your lives will continue to be more miserable. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. He's the last speaker, but we're just starting. Huh? Yeah, I have a special request to make. Right. Apparently, not many of you bought a T-shirt. I think only see a few here, a few there. Right. So if you are kind-hearted enough, right, do buy one of our T-shirts. I think we have a lot of surplus. Right. I cannot wear a few hundred T-shirts. Right. So if you're kind-hearted, right, pick up a T-shirt from the back. It only costs you $10. Right, on your way back, right. But like I said, we are just starting. Right, how the next few moments will be is there'll be a mic stand that's put here. Am I right, sir? We'll put a mic stand here. We also will extend this session to the press. So if you're from the press, you're a Singaporean, or if you're a foreigner, right, I think we welcome you to ask us a question. We'll try our best to answer you. Are we ready, William? But, so if you have a question, just come to the front and ask. And we'll try our best to answer you. Right, don't be shy. Right, the first question comes from yeah, yes sir. Oh, Joe.
All testing 1, 2, 3.
Give me election. Come on, man. What kind of question is that? Maybe Alex, alright?
Going for dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You come for every event?
No, this is the first time I came here.
I missed the 2 because I didn't fall in the date I'm coming back. But this time actually I came back earlier. It should be the 15th.
Yeah.
It's not cost money. I think
Next thing I want to protest this Singtel. I want to protest it.
Oh, didn't plan data plan.
Data plan. They never, now I'm almost out of money of my card. And because
they roaming, is it? Because if roaming, then it can be very costly.
I didn't choose roaming. I just choose that my internet is connected. And because it always checks online for updates.
My Malaysian
it's quite fast.
The telephone fee, $35 I checked, and then why not $15? Just one call. Not in the roaming.
It's not my Hong Kong card I don't have the roaming outside. It's actually quite better if my card doesn't work in this country, because I get poor by doing that.